And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. So,
Oh my
my
gosh.
phone wasn't charging because it was raining today, which is why I'm wearing a coat. But for shiur, it is somehow charging. Just like sometimes when I was on the road and we had no service for 10 hours straight, but somehow we had service in shiur. Yeah, thanks.
It reminds me of a Misa that my mom just told me, a miracle that happened in the first days of battle in the war. So Kevin Dalsa the Adena, Nema Me Bilsa, Nema
Neva.
Me Nema Be Milsa. Nema
Nice.
Be Milsa. Thank you. I wanted to know if I could share very quickly the story that happened.
The chavod.
Basically, I'm looking for the message, but if I don't find it, I'll just say it in brief. What happened was these soldiers were the first responders to the battle, the infiltration of the Hamas, and they were given brand new weapons, and the weapons had never been tested. And they all went into battle with these brand new weapons, and each gun fired seamlessly. They hit the mark. They were able to secure the area and thwart the terrorists, and they succeeded in their mission, right? Then, in their
Right.
off time afterwards, they went to the firing range to test the weapons after cleaning them, and none of them worked. And
Wow.
each gun, the first shot jammed, second shot jammed, third shot jammed. It turned out all the guns were bad guns, and for some reason in that battle, they all fired seamlessly.
I believe it. Hashem is with us. And on that amazing note, I thought we would start off shiur by reading a little bit of Rav Kahane in Or Rayon when he talks about in the chapter Milchama V'Shalom.
Wow.
B'siyum Maseches Eichtin. At the end of Maseches Eichtin, Sofa Talmud, this is the end of the of Talmud, right? It's the end of the last mission in Shas. Amar Chazal say, Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Chalifta. Rabbi Shimon ben Chalifta said, Loma Takarish Baruch Hu Kli Bracha Yisrael Ela Hashalom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not find a kli, a vessel that brings a bracha, that holds bracha for Israel, except shalom, peace. Shenemar Adonai oz li'amo yitain, Adonai varech es amo v'shalom. Hashem gives strength to his nation, and he blesses his nation with peace. Od Amru, they also said, Medrash Rabbah, Gadol HaShalom, the Shalom is so great, Sheshmo Shel Magom Kor Shalom, it's the name of Hashem. Gadol HaShalom, Shekol Brachos Kululos, but all of the brachos are included in Shalom. So great. Great is Shalom, She'ein Chitum Birkas Kohanim El B'Shalom, it's the end of Birkas Kohanim. So Rav Kahane starts off right? He starts off the first paragraph with talking about how great Shalom is, and he brings another few examples, and then he ends. V'chein Amar Hillel, Havi mitamid dav shel Aaron, be a student of Aaron. Oev Shalom v'rodev Shalom, loves peace and chases peace. This is Rav Kahane, how he starts his chapter on peace and war, on war and peace. And it's amazing. It's an amazing reminder that, like, yeah, Eis Milchama and Eis Shalom, there's a time for war and a time for peace. But we got to know that, like, peace, peace is the goal. But sometimes peace can only come by destroying our enemies. Okay. Shkayach, I thought we would start with Rav Kahane. I don't know. Maybe I'll continue the Rav Kahane Milchama V'Shalom in morning Seder. Where we're not limited on time. And so anyone who is watching this and says, "What? Why are there no more Rav Kahanes in the night shiur?" Say, look at the morning shiur. And we're going to continue with Rav Kahane, Mirza Hashem. I think David Kabu will love it. I think it will be a big Kiddush Hashem. Okay. So without further ado, we got to a Heilige Mishnah yesterday. Shalu as the Canaan Beromi. The elders in Rome asked, right? They asked elders in Rome, Im ein rotzim b'avodas kocham. If you don't want idolatry, why are you mevatel it? Why don't you just mevatel it? So, right, we're just doing the Chazara now. So he said to him, Ilu davar she'ein tzorech la'olam bo hayu ovdim hayu mevatla. If they were worshiping, or we were worshiping something that the world doesn't need, we would have been mevatel it. But harein ovdin. They actually say in Ein Ritzono, if his will is not with idolatry. But what does that mean, Ein Ritzono? The Ratzon of who? And Rashi barely talks about this. We saw yesterday. Was doing some chazah. In Ein Ritzono b'avodas kochavim, lama eino mevatlo? Why is he mevatlo it? Amru lahen, ilu, if we're doing something that the world doesn't need, hay mevatlo, he would have mevatled it. Hare hein ovdin, anything, but they in the plural are worshiping chama levana kochavim mazalos. That's what akum is. Akum is ovdin kochavim mazalos, stars and constellations. But here they add two culprits: the sun, which obviously we know the heliocentrism still going on today. Did you guys believe it that there's still people who think that there's a globe? Listen, but really, we don't want to like bully them, because like we were propagandized at one point also. Every single one of us at one point was positive that the world was a globe. You know?
Still bliving, but I'm leaning towards flat.
I don't know about flat. I want to say I'm a flat bliber. I don't know what I don't know what exactly it is. But it's very important to know that the model that they're telling us in the globe and outer space, as the way that they're explaining it, is not only completely associated with the Torah, but it's also complete nonsense to anyone who takes the time to look into it.
When it comes to globes, there are only certain globes that I'm interested in.
There's only certain globes that he's interested in. And he's talking about.
I saw that coming.
Okay, Maven Yavin, you're saying.
Maven Yavin.
You're saying that everyone knows why the Kala goes into the Cheder Yichud. But anyone who's been of their peh and says it, so I think like something about Machilin lo migachale rotem, like they feed him from like these like spiritual coals. Anyone who speaks with nibble peh. Now, in Yeshiva's Gulash, we just take a look at the sugya. We're like, okay, it's not like l'chayra. There's no Isser D'Oraisa of it. And the Rambam says that it's only like if you're Meshatev Shem Hashem. So like maybe there's not even. But sorry, we're saying, but maybe right the Rab. Maybe it's not even Isser D'Oraisa to say only the Meshatev Shem Hashem. But it doesn't matter, because look what Chazal said. Everyone knows why the Kala goes into the Chuppah, but anyone who's Menavo Ben talks about this stuff and talks about it flippantly, I guess, and just talks about like, yo, you know what they're doing in there? And then anyone who maybe makes like hand symbols, but is not gonna, I'm not gonna do it. Because if I can do it, I'm not connected. Not until marriage. But not so mikvah. All right, we're not getting into the sugya, and we're not talking about any maisas. We're just saying, everyone knows why the kala goes into the cheder yichud, but still, you shouldn't talk about it. You probably shouldn't have made hand gestures. I couldn't help myself. Listen, we steigen da. One thing we're not going to do is start bugging out about like Avodah Hashem. You know, the Abishur
Right.
wants us to be happy.
But also, if there's purpose, if it's relevant to the sugya, it's a sugya of mental health.
Listen. We've been talking about anal since we're open the Gemara when we're 10 years old.
Right. So this is sugya of
So
mental health.
right? So, listen.
No, I'm saying it's a sugya of mental health, right? It's like I focus on just what works.
Listen, everyone's got to be steigen. Everyone's got to know their paths.
Yeah, listen,
Steigen here.
I laugh when I'm nervous.
Tagline. Steigen here. What?
I laugh when I'm nervous. So sometimes I laugh at things that I shouldn't laugh at. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's all good. I'm not going to beat myself up over laughing at something that I was like, oh, I shouldn't have laughed at that. You know what I'm saying?
No, but it's also the sugya of Dalet Amos.
Oh, yo, right when I got to LA, one of my first chills with DVJ, outside and Usha's fake grass. I wouldn't change anything from this story except for the grass. And so we're chilling there, and like I'm bugging a little bit, just got tickety tossed day one from that rehab that we have one shiur in. I was able to think of one shiur. I was mitaki in rehab. I graduated early. So I was still reeling. And DVJ told me this idea, Schligs. This amazing idea, Riggs. The amazing idea, Riggs over here. That, like, a person doesn't have to look out in the world or what's happening. For when it comes to mental health, sometimes you could just say, okay, what's actually like relevant for me to like think about, and what's in my Dalet Amos. I hope I did it justice. DVJ, why don't you say it?
No. You just did it justice. You shrink your world. You say, listen, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna like example this conflict. Like I'm not gonna fly to Israel right now. So like, what's the relevancy to me now? Like, how can I protect my mental health?
No, but
and
there still
also
is what we can do. I hear what you're saying. But here in this case, it's not just like what's going on in Israel. The world is back in Holocaust mode. It was not gone. It did not end. The Nazis didn't lose. They moved to America. It stayed dormant until they can rear its ugly head again. But the Holocaust never left. The Nazis never lost. They moved to America, some to South America. The Nazis, they moved to the FBI, CIA, and NSA. All of these secret organizations in America were established after the Holocaust. The Nazis, 20,000 Nazi scientists and congressmen, Nazi congressmen, came to America. This is called Operation Paperclip.
right. But so what you're saying is
20,000 Nazi scientists came to America.
So what you're saying now that's in a Yid's Dalet Amos. And
right.
that's fine. You can't ignore the Dalet Amos. But
no, you're so right.
If a Yid's ready to jump off the roof, like he needs to shrink his world to like, okay, what do I need to do right now? What is immediate? Okay. Where's the immediate threat?
Right. Immediate. And it's a mordika yesod in mental health that DVJ shared with me right at the beginning of the most epic Los Angeles year. Oh man. And me and DVJ saw, okay, I was gonna say the Mets, but I can't even think about the Mets.
Zelig.
I said Efsher.
Okay, new.
All right. Yeah, I was right around that time. So, they're worshiping the sun and the moon and the stars and the constellations. Yeah, but Olam, if they showed them, so we have to see who do they mean if they showed them? Like if they were worshiping non-idolatry or idolatry which is not essential to the world, like the sun and the stars. So we would have mivatel it if we were worshiping something else. But what? we're gonna make the world be lost because of the shotim, because of the idiots. Amr Lahem, they said, right, the idiots that do what? That cancel the sun, who Bill Gates. Amr Lahem, Im Kain, if that's the case, yeah, but davar she'ein zar la'olam bo. V'yaniach davar she'atzar la'olam bo. Wait a second. Wow. Okay. It's a good thing we did Chazar on this Mishnah. I was reading it wrong. It's like this. Shalu as Azikanim Biromi. They asked the Zikanim of Am Yisrael in Rome. Wasn't like the Roman Zikanim. It's not the Zikne Rome. It's they asked the Zikanim in Rome. Okay. Now we can learn the Mishnah. It'll make more sense. Mitzvah Hashem. But you see how we went through and we tried to get it and we made sure we understood every word?
Good stuff, bro.
And also we went on humongous tangents, but it's okay.
It just goes to show the strength of the Mahalach.
Change the Mahalach over here. Strength of the Mahalach over here. Stacking up. Avis strength. You know? Shalu as the gate in Baromi. It shows they asked the Zaganim where were they? They were in Rome. They said, so maybe the Zaganim were there in Rome. Wow, we got to figure out what were they doing there in Rome. We're gonna have to see some, maybe go a little deeper on this sugya. So the Zaganim were in Rome. They say, hey, Zaganim, right there. Hey, Zaganim, I am Italian and I have a question. It is spicy meatball of a question. If you do not want idolatry, then why don't you cancel it? They may not Ritzono. And now we know, by the way, who's Ritzono. Remember, we didn't say Pshah, we were asking questions. Now we can understand who's Ritzono. Oh, there's nothing like this Kishmak of like figuring out what the Gemara is actually saying. Im Ein Ritzono, if it's not the Ratzon of Hashem to have idolatry, Lama Ein Mevadl, why doesn't Hashem destroy it? Right? Amru Lahem, does a Canaan answer them? Does the Canaan answer the Romans? They say, if the idolaters were worshiping something which the world doesn't need, Hashem would have mevadled it. Harehain, and we said, who's Hain? Hain is the idolaters. Harehain ovdim. They're worshiping sun, moon, stars, and constellations. Yeah, but Olam and the Shaitim, the Shaitim are the idolaters. Because I'll say, what, the world's going to be lost now because of the idiots over here. The idiot idolaters are worshiping the sun, so we're going to get rid of the sun. Amru Lahan, so there's a Gainim in Rome, which is the idolatrous capital of the world, and that idolatry is still going on. I know it's very hard to wrap our heads around, but it's still going on. Not like it was taught to us in 5 towns Jewish education. Not 5 towns because it's all Jewish education, and I'm getting distracted. The world's going to be lost because of the idiot Romans, the idolaters who are still practicing to this day. Not like taught in YU. I'm joking. Amrullah, and says the Tonys and the Anthonys and the Romans, they said, Imkain. Davar she'ein tzorich la'olam boa, v'yaniach davar she'tzorich ha'olam boa. They said, if that's the case, then let Hashem leave the things the world needs and destroy the spicy meatball of idolatry that they do not need. It's a me, idolater. Oh. So they Amru Lahan. So Chazal say back to them, Ab anu machzikin yidei of them. even we, if right, Amrlan av anu machzikin yedei ovdein shel elu sheomrim teidu shein Elohus shahare lo batlu. Wow, they're saying, you know what? Nianiach dar olambo. Amrlan av anu machzikin yedei ovdein shel elu. They say we are helping them actually. Chazal say that there's a Kedim say, listen, we're actually kind of helping them do it. Unfortunately, I guess unfortunately, Shomrim, because the Goyim say they do Shein Elus prove that they're gods. Sharei Hein Lo Batlu, because they were never canceled. So now we gotta see Rashi. Okay, Av Anu Machzikin Yedem. We saw there's only one Rashi. That's really the hardest thing in the Rashi, that line over there, that we're helping them. Shel Elu Ovdim L'Chama Levana. We're helping, comes Rashi, and tells us Rashi, a Helig Bavorn here. We're Machzik Yedein, we're helping their hands. Okay, Everton, can you please hold this up? Turning a rig. Super chill is resistant in my head. So says Rashi. Machzikin Yedayim, Rashi says, Shel Elu Ha'ovdin L'Chamal V'Levana. This is called the Bavor, and Rashi was bevorting the kasha that I had. That's why I was like, wait a second, what was Mr. saying? The question is, Machzikin Yedayim, they're helping the hands of Elu. Who's Elu? Zok Rashi, the ones that are worshiping Chama Ulevana, to exclude the ones that are worshiping just a random idol that the world could survive without. So he's saying the worshippers of the Chama and Levana, Imainu Roim Jeshara Borazgovavim Charevos. If we would have seen that the rest of the idolatry, like these idols and crosses, Charevos Me'atman, HaKadosh Baruch Hu just like it made it incinerate, right? Spontaneously combust. The Elu Kayamos, but the sun and the stars and the constellations are still around because the world needs them. Haynu Modin Elu is saying, okay, fine, I'll leave my idol. Let me go now, worship the sun and stars. Meaning, what Chazal saying is what we're gonna try to root out some minor Avodah Zarahs. It's never gonna leave Avodah Zarah. Even if we destroy all the Avodah Zarah. And I mean, we have a mitzvah actually to go, especially the Avodah Zarah in Israel, the Sharei Shacharah. But in America, maybe in Chutz La'aretz, you don't have to go after it. But that's not immediately relevant to the sugya. What's relevant is that Avodah Zarah is going to be around. You know, the idolaters. If all of the statues disappeared one day, they would be like, wow, I guess the sun and the stars are who we should worship. Meaning they're always going to find a way to justify their worship. So we're not like, although we do have mitzvah to destroy, but Hashem, that's why Hashem's not going to destroy it. What my question is, Anu, right? Even if we go and destroy all the idolatry, maybe even if Chazal goes and destroys, the Canaan goes and destroys the idolatry, they're just going to start worshiping the sun and the heavenly realms. Okay. That was an amazing Mishnah that we haravad on for 2 days. Part of yesterday's year, part of today's year. DVJ, how much time is left?
20.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Tana Rabbanan. We learn in a
Brisa.
Oh, the Babers beat you guys to it. Do you guys hear that? The Babers beat you guys to it. Shkayach Robinson. They're gonna be like, oh, we're on a delay. Shalu philosophim as azikanim baromi. Wow, the philosophers asked the elders in Rome.
Whoa, philosophy.
The philosophim. But who were the philosophers in Rome? Aristotle? Plato? We got to see who these philosophers are. Socrates? Heraclitus? Okay, right. Thales? Anachramentus? All right. They were in Greece, the Greek philosophers that I just mentioned. So who are the Roman philosophers? Even though we know Roman is the ideological child of Greece. Okay. So the philosophers as the Zacchaeum, and they were in Rome. If your God doesn't want, if your God, we had to work for that shot. We had to say the wrong shot twice before I was like, wait a tick. Maybe, right? Maybe those questions that we had at the beginning could show us what the real shot is. All right. If your God doesn't want idolatry, why doesn't he just mevatel it? It's interesting that they use the lashon of mevatla. Like, say, Hashem's going to destroy it. What do you mean mevatel it? Cancel it. What? Hashem's going to go around. What's Hashem's going to do? Take a nail and a hammer and knock off the nose? What do you mean Hashem's going to be mevatel it? And could Hashem be mevatel it? A Jew cannot be mevatel idolatry. A guy can. And Hashem is kol yachol, but it's an interesting question in Lamdas. Does Hashem have a din Yisrael or a din Akum? But we see from the fact that Hashem can be Mavato Avodah Zarah that he does not have a din Yisrael or a din Akum. He's just as Abishur is the father of all creation. So too Abraham. We should have peace soon. But peace, real peace, like where we destroy our enemies, not like a ceasefire while we still have hostages in Gaza. You know, that's real peace. So the philosophim asked the Zacchaeum, if your God doesn't want, why does he cancel it? Why does he mevatel? Why do you nullify it? Amru lahem ilu ledavar she'ena olam tzorich lo hayu ovdim. Tzorich lo hayu ovdim hareyu mevatla. Harein ovdin ledavar sun, moon, stars, constellations. Yeah, but only I showed them what the world is gonna be lost because of the idiots, the stupid idolaters. I love that they call the Shiva Shotim over here. And Abba. Oh, I told my Abba this. But I told Sligs, and I think I said this in shiur yesterday. All right, I think I told everyone. Ziggs, do you know what the Rambam called Muhammad in Yad HaChazaka? Sorry, in Igeres Teiman, in his letter to the Jews in Yemen? Anyone who I told? No. I'll say it then. Because I can't see if anyone's like there because the phone is in a different position, but it's a good position. He calls him a sugar, crazy one. And listen, I'm just reading the Rambam over here. You know? I'm just reading the Rambam over here, but it's interesting. And the Shibud is Shaitim. Okay, idiots. Ella Olam, right? Ella Olam Kiminago Noeg. The world goes according to how it goes, and we have the sun, and we have the moon, and we have the idiots that worship it. It really is dumb, right? It really is dumb, like to think that the the thing that NASA showed us, the globe and all that heliocentric idolatry is real. I mean, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying this is what the Gemara is saying. I would never say dumb, but the Gemara says Shotim. The Shotim, the worshippers of the sun. No, the sun's there, and people will worship it because they're dumb. The Shotim Shekilgulu and the Shotim that messed up, that made a whole balagan. Asidin lidin is that then they're gonna eventually be called to action. How about that right now? How about we're Mekayim this Gemara right now? How about Biyamenu? We in self-defense because we see what happens, and we're not to be pushed around. It's a chil Hashem. Jewish weakness is a chil Hashem, and so aside from what we've been speaking about individually, all right. Aside from what we've been speaking about in the name of Rav Kahane, every Jew at 22, we shouldn't be afraid to even say. See, even like he's like, should I say it in public? Yeah, we've been pushed. Like the Jews have to be Mekadesh Shem Hashem, and that's going to happen when the Jewish nation is the biggest militia on the face of the earth, of the flat earth, and every Yid has protection. That would be a Kiddush Hashem. That would be respecting Hashem's name. If all of Am Yisrael became the largest standing militia on the face of the flat earth. I got a little tangented over there. So the Shotim, the idiots that made it, they were Mekalkel, so they're gonna give the din. Davar Acher, another thing, Are Shegazal Sa Shalchit. Another thing that was is this part of the same brisa? Hare Shegazal Sa Shalchitim, he stole a saw, an amount of wheat. V'halach v'zara b'karka, and he planted it in the ground. Dinu shelo titzmach. It shouldn't grow. Ella olam g'minago noeg. V'holech is the right. V'holech and goes. The world goes as the world goes, as the world spins. V'shotim shegilgulu, as the idiots that were megalgal, they're eventually going to give the din, right? Listen, they stole wheat and they planted it. Really, like Hashem should destroy our idolatry. Hashem should, they say that wheat shouldn't grow. But the world is the Olam Geminhago Noeg. This is a huge idea. Olam Geminhago Noeg is a huge idea in machshava, in just philosophy, in understanding Torah. Olam Geminhago Noeg. That's the name of this year. Vishotim Shekilgulu and the idiots. Someone who steals goes against Hashem. He's an idiot. What? Next, you're gonna tell me? Thinks we landed on the moon? Vishotim Shekilgulu. Davar Acher. Hari. Davar Acher. Another Davar Acher. Hari Shebal Eshes Chavero. Someone who sleeps with his friend's wife. Dinu Shaloti Zaber. Doing a stand such a big avera. So I should just make it that you can't get pregnant that way. Ella Olam Kaminago Noeg. No, the world goes, as the world spins. Oh God. Yo, is that an Eminem song, As the World Spins?
It's a soap opera.
It's a soap opera? Schlicks, we're waiting on your input.
Yeah, it is a Eminem song, As the World Turns.
As the
And
world turns. So big
and
Sheba. We know
yeah.
Eminem was Sheba, and we still know, but there's another Raya. You know?
I,
And
I
look at it so easily crept in to my world view. It's like, oh, it's just a phrase as the world spins. No, that's not what it means. Olam Kamin Hago Noeg does not mean as the world spins. Chas v'shalom, the stasis words in the mouth of Chazal as Mechila. The world goes as its minhag is to go. You know what? Am I gonna try to translate minhag into some Shiva propaganda, heliocentrism, chas v'shalom? No, the world goes as its minhag is to go. Oh, you plant, you do what the college does in the Keter Yichud. You get pregnant. You know, that's how the world goes, and so the idolatry is as it is, and the people who worship the sun, so they're eventually gonna have to litin as a din. Behind the Ami Reish Lakish, like what Rav Lakish says, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Lo Dayan L'Rishayim Sha'osin Selash Sheli Pumbi. It's not enough to the evil, to the Rishayim, that they make my Sela, my coin, Pumbi, whatever Pumbi is, Elishamat Rizin Ozi, Umachtimin Ozi, Balgorgi, rather they annoy me and they sign me on it against my will. Okay. Starting Rashi in the Mishnah, we just got to a dot. By the way, I just wanted to say that the reason the Gemara is giving and the Mishnah is so sweet and the Gemara is so sweet here, and you get to learn these unbelievable maisas, is because for the last, basically since war, and since we've been learning this, today is the 19th year in a row, so shkoyach to everyone.
Shkoyach.
But those topim that we were learning were not easy. Some of them were rough, and we horrified. And sometimes we spent a week just on like one daf and just like making our way through it. And so now the Gemara is like, okay, we know that like you guys just learned a very, very, very difficult sugya, shkoyach, and your reward is some agadata. I'm serious. That's the reason the Gemara put it here.
It's amazing.
And that's the reason. And the Mishnah knew that the Gemara was going to be so complicated, so the Mishnah is even here. Okay, says Rashi, the philosophim, the Chachmei Umos, the philosophim, the wise men of the nations. And then Rashi doesn't talk again on that whole thing, because Rashi doesn't need to talk, because it was like a nice like walk in the park a little bit. It was just like a nice story. But there's one part that was hard, and that's the one part that Rashi talks about. It's pretty straightforward. The Hainu, the Amar Reish Lakish, like what Reish Lakish says, the head bandit. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Lo dayin l'Rishayim she'osim shela sheli pumbi. Says Rashi, she'osim shela pumbi, Roshem sheli. Roshem, Rivka. Rivka's the thinking about the Rishimo now, which is a Kabbalistic concept that I don't know if we ever spoke about in shiur, but we definitely don't have time right now. So he says, Roshem sheli shani roshembo, the sela of mine. Oh, the imprint that I have imprinted on the world. That was the Roshem that HaKadosh Baruch Hu left in the halal after the Tzimtzum. Before he was mashpia the kav, there was still some avishter in that halal. That's the Roshem, the Rishima. And so the Roshem that I sign with, Ozin Hefker, they make it Hefker. Oh, that's Pumbi in public. Oh, I was kind of Likol, it's Hefker. Anyone sees it. Shekola Rotza Lichtom Bo Yichtom Bo. Anyone who wants to use nature for evil, to steal and plant and worship an idol, worship the sun. Anyone who wants to sign with these of it. Kilaima, Zak Rashi. Shebe'ein kol shebain al ha'erva al gorgi v'molidin. Hashem is saying that they're when someone creates something from this world and he does it for usher purposes, he does it for shibud avodah zarah purposes, it's like they're raping an erva. They're coming on and the erva is forced to have the baby. That's what the Rashi says. They're making my sign public, hefker for anyone to use. And not only are they doing that, not only are they making my sign, my nature of the world, the sun that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I guess like you signed the world with it, or it's like it's the sun is just a messenger of God, or a Misharet, the Shares, Geshares, Misharet, Hashem, and people started worshiping it. So not only that, but they're machtimin oziba gorgi, they're making me sign off on it. Because Hashem put an amazing koch in the world of koch to have a baby. And we should always zoch at the right time. The banim, moving banim, ice, give it Torah, mitzvos. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world in such a beautiful way. If you plant a tree, it will grow. And if you have sex with the girls, you will have a little baby. I lost it over there for a second, but we're back in it. If you cancel the sun, like Bill Gates wants to do, then you'll cancel the world. So Hashem says, listen, let it happen. I'm not going to cancel the sun. The world is the way it is. People walk. Olam kaminago, no way. The world is the way it is. And if you steal some chitin and then you plant it, it will still grow. Because the world is what it is. And you have to know what we're dealing with, what we're stealing. Here comes Achyaka in the room with the heater. Reverend used the and say Shalom Aleichem to group.
Shalom Aleichem.
It's supposed to have you in shiur, and it goes true for all of you who are mechuyavim in it. Not mechuyav to come to shiur, obviously mechuyav in Torah. But we appreciate the hasmada. This is 19 shiurim in a row, and we're learning all the things that you need to know about the Welt, about the Olam, Kimin Hago, it goes. The world goes, Kimin Hago. Like Vincent Van Gogh, schwitzing, real slow, because I'm some beat me twice in ping pong today. Now it's 5-3 me. The world is as it is, and it's up to us to use it properly and shtickel. I heard a lot of people say, if Hashem didn't want me to eat bacon, then why would he make bacon? And we can answer them, idiots. The world is the way it is, and the Rishayim obviously did as I did. The world is the way it is. Hashem put it here for us to use and to shtickel through. And to